A major milestone for the embattled Bombardier.
The maiden flight of its first made in Mississauga Global 8000 production aircraft was a success for the embattled company. So joining us live now is Karl Moore, Associate Professor at McGill University. I think I'm mispronouncing it. DeSottles. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, Dr. Moore, I can't see this morning. I don't have my glasses. But let's talk about this this milestone. What makes this plane so unique, and when can it actually serve people who are looking to get from far places like, let's say, Dubai to Singapore to North America? And how much of a game changer will this be?
Well, it's a tremendous improvement over the past, and it'll be available for customers towards the end of the year. It's going through testing, and it's going through things here in Montreal where they're going to put in the interior, which they do here in Montreal. It's built in Toronto, but a big part of the process is here. And it's going to be something where it is considerably above the past, Bombardier and Gulfstream's product. But Gulfstream has some products coming out which have some strengths as well in the next couple months. So the game is heating up between the two. And it's something where Bombardier, you might remember it some years ago, that it had trains, planes, snowmobiles, where they've hived off the snowmobiles. It's his own company, BRP. They've sold trains to Europe, and they're really focused no longer on RJs, but on business jets. I think they made the right choice in terms of what sector to focus on. This is a growing sector in the world, and they have great products. So it's an area which I think assuages a very good future for Bombardier, but again, a much smaller company than it used to be.
Yeah, it's much more streamlined, that's for sure, Professor. So how important then is this, really one plane to Canada's economy, especially in this era of Trump and tariffs and all the turmoil that's associated with that?
Well, this is a global product. It's, I mean, literally, but it's a product for the world. It's not just a product for Canada by any means. A small percentage of their planes are sold here in Canada. U.S. is a big market, but it's something where the kind of things this is used for is for corporations sending mining engineers out to remote areas, things where there's not a fast way to getting there. And when your mine's down, you need that engineer to show up. But it's also for very wealthy people that are going to enjoy traveling this way as opposed to commercial airplanes and the way that the rest of us schmucks have to travel. So it's applying to very serious jobs as well as something which is more for ultra wealthy individuals. But it's a great product. I've been on board it, seen it. I've flown in some of their earlier models. It is something which is a world-class product, which is going to make, which creates jobs, has created jobs here in Canada, and will maintain those jobs in Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah, and Professor, we know it had its maiden flight completed on May 16th. How much more of these test flights need to take place before it gets, I guess, put out?
Well, a number, but it's relatively, at this point, it's really in the final legs of it. So it's something that I don't think we have to worry about. It's more getting the interior set up, going through the processes. But I think it's 99% there. At this point, not a real concern in my mind, at least.
Okay, that is definitely something to look forward to. Professor, while we have you here, I'd really love to get your thoughts on the Canada Post situation right now. We understand the Crown Corporation is going to put forward another offer to the union today. But the Crown Corporation said, we're basically bankrupt. We don't have any money here. What are you expecting to see coming potentially from Canada Post today? And how do you see this potentially being resolved?
Well, they're in very much deep trouble. There was a report that came out very recently from someone who is very knowledgeable that seems to really nail it all too well, that Canada Post, the number of letters being delivered is way down. The number of parcels is way down. And they have a responsibility to deliver to remote parts of Canada. It's just something that's no longer sustainable like it was in the past. And it's going to move on. On the other hand, I have worked with unions for years. I'm sympathetic that they really genuinely care for their members and want the best for them and their families. And that's the way it should be. But I think it's something where we see this in a lot of organizations where the past model worked, but it doesn't today. You need to change. And we see that in television, in fact. The world's gone on, media's gone on. The New York Times, it has a lot more subscribers online than it has papers being delivered. The world's moved on, and Canada Post sadly needs to move on with it, and that includes the unions.
Okay, Associate Professor Karl Moore, thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate your thoughts. Thank you.
From the DesAutel School of Management.
DesAutel School of Management. Thank you.
Professor.